Given Victorbook Services activity, safety and protection of data has always been a main focus. Obviously, with the GDPR coming in play, it really adds onto what we want to implement. But data protection has always been in our DNA. And I think that we're far away from starting from scratch. All the certification that we have been starting working on and that we have already encompasses ISO 27001 and PSDC. All of those certification and the preparation work that we are putting together to get there prove that data protection has always been one of our major focus. And this is one of very important points and something that everybody focuses from every type of level within Victorbook Services. There are obviously some challenges with that regulation. And one of the challenges, for example, is some aspect of that regulation. Give you one example, the portability of the data. A customer can come back and claim his data within a reasonable limit, but it does not say what a reasonable limit is. So that's where we really need to make sure that we encompass all those aspects in our processes. In that perspective, the way that we prepared ourselves is that we have a very strong governance around data. We have a compliance officer, we have internal controllers, we have obviously also made sure that we pass all that information and that framework around the entire organization, and that organizationally wise in our processes and how we treat the data, everybody is aware of what that implicates. And last but not least, we have also named a DPO, Hélène.
So first of all, I would like to mention that the designation of a DPO can be mandatory. That's Article 37 of the GDPR that foresees 3 cases in which indeed the DPO has to be designated on a mandatory basis. Outside of these 3 cases, there might be an interest for the company to designate, to appoint a DPO because they have a strong interest, a concern about the way personal data are managed, and they want, for governance purposes, to implement good practices. So that's a good idea also to, on an option basis, I would say, to designate a DPO. Now the DPO needs to have, of course, a number of qualities. High ethics standard, of course, integrity, and a very good knowledge also of the national and the European data protection legislation. So he will be an independent conductor. He will interact with the different departments from human resources, finance, IT, commercial, sales, and he will monitor that the GDPR principles are implemented within the company. So amongst those principles, we have, for example, the principle of the purpose limitation, the data minimization. We have also the accuracy of the personal data. I can also mention the principle of the security, integrity, and confidentiality, which is very important. And the last, I would say, but not least, is the principle of accountability that applies for a data controller, but also for a data processor as well.
As a data processor, we need to ensure that we work in a state-of-the-art technology, and that's what our customers get from Victorbook Services. What we do with them is making sure that we process and that we implement an entire value chain from data gathering, processing and dissemination, not only to protect the data within our process, but also helping our customers to deliver to their end clients the best information, the best data in the most secure way, whether in a very organic way through print and mail, for example, but also to a variety of communication channels through the digital world, and that's something that is very, very important.
So my advice would be to visit regularly the website of the CNPD to stay informed about the last developments, to identify the data flows within the organization, to conduct a gap analysis, and to implement an action plan to reach that compliance with the GDPR.
I can obviously only relate to what Hélène has just been saying. In addition to that, making sure that we take one thing in mind, client centricity. If we keep that in mind, a regulation is only a rubber stamp around what we all think makes sense to protect our clients. And in that perspective, staying tuned obviously with the CNPD, but the local and also the international regulation to support our clients across the globe.